the jerking off. I was like, but I'm gonna figure out what's the science of funny. Every word I would transcribe, every facial gesture I would write out, every hand gesture I would write out, and then every time they got a laugh, I would put a star by it, and I would try to figure out why it got a laugh.
That's
And
amazing,
that was the
man.
beginning of me starting to figure out my funny. I know I still got a ways to go, but that was me like, okay, now we're getting out of the bottom.
Well, I heard Seinfeld say on an interview recently, like however many years you've been doing stand up, that's like your comedy age. So like
Yeah.
if we've been doing stand up for 13 years, you'd be like you're a
Yeah.
13-year-old in
Yeah.
stand up.
Yeah.
Let me tell you when I realized you had grown as a comedian, and it was actually pretty recently. And it's when you was headlining down here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I hit you up. I said, "Oh shit, Akaash performing." I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta hit him up." You know, I said like, "Yeah, shit, I love to get up, but I just want to
Right.
see you perform because
Right.
this is after the podcast taking off, and I hadn't seen you do stand up in since LA
Right.
because I wasn't really watching I would see the YouTube clips, but seeing clips and seeing somebody live and seeing them doing 45 minutes to an hour, that's a whole different thing. I'm like, anybody could take when they said something funny and post it
Right.
online versus no, I could actually do this shit.
Right.
So to get back to when you were saying you was bombing, I probably seen you bombing. I did. You see what I'm saying? So my
Yeah.
memory of you is you was a super nice dude. We would make each other laugh, but I did
Right.
see you bombing on stage.
Right.
And I would see you do okay. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I never saw you kill. But we got to remember that's only you being in LA for a year and a half. So I
Right.
never saw you kill. So fast forward to right before COVID. This is how recent this is.
Yeah.
I finally
Yeah.
get to see you live after you
Yeah.
done been in New York all this time and been working on your craft and doing all the transcribing, which I had no idea about.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, he's funny. I don't know if you
Thank you,
remember
man.
like how excited I was after that.
Appreciate you, man.
I was
Appreciate
like,
you.
yo, he the real deal. I'm like, because you have a perspective. It's not hacky. It's your own. You can tell it's you.
Yeah.
And just the level that you've grown as a comedian is incredible, man. And when I was watching you, I was like, oh no, he's finna get his own special. He finna have his own TV show. Like the
Thank you,
movies,
man.
he finna have all of that, you know. So
Yeah.
salute to that.
Thank you, man. What's funny is the networks do not like me at all.
Not
And
yet.
that's yeah, I remember you posted our Comedy Central clip somewhere, me and Andrew
Yeah.
laughing at all the Comedy Central execs who got fired.
Yeah.
And that comes from feeling like, and the podcast was born out of, especially for him, but also for me, feeling like, oh, we're trying so hard to appease these people, and they just don't seem to like our brand of humor. They just don't seem to like the guy who isn't going to automatically hate all Republicans or isn't going to pander to whoever. And you know what I mean? So like having a perspective that isn't popular, that to me is the fun one. I want the unpopular perspective, because if I can make you laugh at that, now I did something. If I can get you to agree and clap, like I feel like I'm cheating. Like, what is this? Like I'm dunking on a 6-foot rim.
Right.
So that, for that reason, like the specials and all that, to me, I'm almost like, I don't care about it nearly as much. And I also was just like, maybe that wasn't for me. And that's a part of God's plan of like, you have your own independent route to go. And I promise you, you're going to be happier this way. So like when people say that, I'm almost like, yo, that would be great. I'd take it. But I feel like it wasn't supposed to go like that, at least not for a while, at least not now.
Yeah, one thing I know about Hollywood, I mean, is they don't fuck with you until everybody is fucking with you. So
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where even with Andrew, which I want to get to how y'all connected, but even with Andrew and what you're doing, you all are building a fan base. Here's the difference between me and you right now. I would assume financially I may have a little bit more money because I'm on a network TV show
Right. Right.
at the moment,
Right.
but you have the people behind you. That's
Yeah.
far more important in this game than me being on a network show. I mean, me being on a network show is cool, but what I'm saying is y'all garnering this the people behind y'all, that's gonna get you the TV shows, in the movies, in that big bank account.
Yeah. And that's, so here's another thing I've learned is like, there was it's not much money, but like I remember I was on like 6 MTV shows. There was a few years where MTV just loved me. They were throwing me on everything. I think 6 TV shows in one year and a Netflix show that like we shot independently, but Netflix put on their platform, and they said like, hey, if this goes, we'll give you a second season, Netflix original. I'm super hyped. First time in my life I made six figures. Young six, but it's there. And then I'm thinking, all right, here we go. This is the beginning. And this is 2017 goes well. Then 2018, one by one, every single show doesn't get picked up except for one show that didn't have me back. So I went from making my first time making six figures to legit not even making five. I'd be shocked if I made five figures.
Wow.
But in that time, at the end of 2017, we started this Flagrant 2 podcast, and I legit was I found out about this thing called Patreon where people can subscribe, you know, and do bonus content and whatever. And there was this podcast called Come Town, super graphic name, but they were legit making like 35,000 a month on Patreon. And I was like, what is this? And then I thought about our fan base, and I said, I know they're loyal, man. They're not big, but I know they're loyal. I was telling Andrew, like, yo, I think we should do this. I think we should do this. And he was so busy. He was like, man, I don't know. Finally, I went so broke. I said, I am literally I'm pleading with you at this point. Let's start the Patreon. He was like, fine, let's do it. And he was great about marketing it. Like, he kind of led the way on that. I'm not going to front, and like thinking how we're going to get people into this. And now we legit have the number 7 Patreon in the entire world or something like that.
Wow.
And that's completely fan funded, and it's providing a living that, knock on wood, I'm happy with. And, you know, my fiance and I think I could pay for the wedding if I need to. And like, you know, all this stuff is just from the people. So to that point, the people, we are kind of taking the power slowly. We're stripping it away from the middlemen, and
Absolutely.
we're going straight to the people. And that's the kind of the way of the future. And so I'm super happy that you're killing it so hard in the industry. My wish for you as a friend is you're not a dumb guy. You're planning financially, I'm sure. You got a family, you're thinking differently, but like as long-term as you can stretch that money. And in the meantime, keep doing stuff like this, keep building with the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, man. And I learned that even from watching somebody like you and Andrew, man. I'm like, yo, I've been wanting to do a podcast for 2 years. It's just that I've been filming MacGyver. Then finally doing this pandemic, I was like, I finally got an opportunity to really pull the trigger on that and get a good enough episodes. Like, fuck, I had George Wallace yesterday. You know what I'm saying?